Okay, this is Lesson 5. It's Unit 1, Language Arts 1, Unit 1, Basic Study Skills, and this is Lesson 5, the Beehive Brain Box Learning System, Advancing Cards Behind Weekly. Oh my goodness, I have advanced some cards here. I have 15 cards in my deck. Okay, they're behind number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I am going to, when I have cards behind number 5, I am going to find those cards behind number 5. There I am. There's the cards. There they are. Okay, behind 5. If I know them, they're going to go behind weekly. Now let's see. Do I know them? Oh, that's and. Yes, I can put and behind weekly. What about the? Oh, absolutely, I can put the behind weekly. And what about of? Yes, I know that now. That can go behind weekly. Now, after you've done that, of course, you go to the cards behind number 4 in your deck, and if you know them, they can be put behind 5. If you don't know it, you're right. It goes back behind number 1. You know that by now, don't you? Then you go to the cards behind number 3. They can go behind number 4 if you know them. If they don't, it's back behind number 1. Cards behind number 2. If you can, you advance them behind number 3. If you don't know one, it goes behind number 1. And then you go to cards behind number 1 that have been there and that you have studied before. And if you can advance them behind number 2, they go behind number 2. Now, what happens with the cards behind weekly? Well, you're certainly not going to be doing them the next time that you go through your deck. You know what you're going to do? Well, we have kind of a system. And if you look at the PDF, you'll realize that on Mondays we do certain cards, Tuesdays we do certain cards, Wednesdays we do certain cards, depending upon the deck. Like we might do scriptures and language arts one day, math and science another day, history another day, and so forth. Look it up in the PDF, what we have done. And what you want to do is up to you, you know, and when you want to. But one day a week, you're going to go behind weekly in this deck. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to need your pencil. And when the day comes up that you're going to go behind the weekly cards, you're going to bring them out and you're going to say, that's and. That's and. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a little tally mark on it. You see that little mark up at the top there, that tally mark? That says that the first week that this was behind weekly, I knew that. Then I'm going to look at the next one. Oh, that's the. I put a tally mark on there. And then of. Do I know of? I do. So I put a tally mark on it. Now, I do not go over the cards behind weekly for another week. If I'm doing these on Monday, I don't go over them again until next Monday. Because that gives me a kind of a good cushion that next week, do I know them? Now let's pretend that a week has passed and it's time to go through these cards again. Do I know them? Yes, I do. So I put another tally mark on each of the cards because I do know what they are. And probably by the next week, I'm going to have more cards behind weekly too, and they will get one tally mark. What happens is that when you have cards behind weekly and you've gone over them for 4 weeks and you've gotten a tally mark each week, you can advance them to behind I know these. How about that? It's pretty certain that you probably do know them if you have been able to advance them every week for 4 weeks. Now what happens if, say, the 3rd week you forgot it? It marches right back behind number 1 and starts over again. And that is because we really want you to learn it. It probably won't take long to advance it through the deck again and get it to weekly again. But if you have to remove a card from weekly because you don't know it, erase the tally marks. erase the tally marks, and start it over again. Now, what about I know these? When you get cards behind I know these, they are done every month. And again, in the PDF, we have suggested what week you would go over the I know these cards for different categories. And again, every month you go over them. You don't need to mark them, because if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, by now you know a card goes back behind number 1. Now these cards can be used for all different sorts of things. We've just used them for words here, but you can use them for math facts, although I have another system that I like a little bit better for math facts. But you can use them for definitions, you can use them for grammar rules, you can use them for almost anything you want to learn. Okay? So, that's the Beehive Brain Box learning system. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about it, and I know you will enjoy learning with it and using it, and that it will help you greatly in learning the things that you need to know.